Salvete! Hello everybody, this is Latin with Stephen. Welcome to another video. This is an intermediate reading video. I've done a couple of these already, taking short stories in simplified Latin, but still fairly challenging. So this video is for anyone who has already learned the basic declensions and conjugations, has some sense of basic Latin syntax and is wanting to really have a go at reading a little bit of something, getting away from the grammar books and actually reading a story and enjoying some Latin. So I shall present this short story called Ulysses and the Winds. Ulysses or Odysseus from the Homer's Iliad and the Odyssey. I shall present it in 4 short sections on the screen. After the section appears, please pause, see if you can translate it yourself, see if you can work it out, then follow it with me. I'll read it in the Latin and I'll go through the first section, then we'll repeat the process for the following 3 sections. I hope you find this useful, guys. Let's, without further ado, get down to it. First section of the passage should appear now. Alright, hopefully you've paused and had a go at it. Ulysses and the Winds from Greek mythology. Let's read together the Latin for the first section. Ulysses, ubi Graeci Troiam expug naverunt, et ad Graeciam reveterunt, cum comitibus ad insulam Aeoliam navigavet. Habitabat in insula Aeolus rex. Dei Aeolo imperium ventorum mandaverunt. Diu cum rege Ulysses et comites manebant. Okay, that's our first section. Hopefully not too difficult. So, Ulysses. Ubi can mean when or where. Here it's when. When the Greeks, plural, had expugnaverunt, perfect tense, expugnare. Pugnare is to fight. Expugnare means to take, to capture Troy, the city of Troy from the story of Homer. When the Greeks sacked, captured Troy, et and reveterunt, returned ad Graeciam, to Greece, cum comitibus ad insulam Aeolium navigavit. Navigare is to sail. So the subject is Ulysses. Ulysses sailed, past tense, with his comes, is a companion or a comrade, sailed with his comrades to the island of Aeolia. Main clause. Ulysses sailed to the island Aeolia with his comrades. Subordinate clause. When the Greeks had captured Troy and returned to Greece. Alright, so that's a subordinate clause there in between the brackets. A bit more. Dei, okay, that's plural, nominative plural from deus, God, so the gods. Mandaverant. Mandare, a bit like the English mandate, to give, to entrust, to assign to somebody. Aeolo, dative. So the gods had assigned to Aeolus imperium ventorum. I'm going to say, this is just roughly off the top of my head, authority, control, dominion, management of the winds. Ventus is the wind. This is genitive plural. The gods had put him in charge of the winds, essentially. All right. Diu, adverb, for a long time. Cum rege, cum plus ablative for rex, with the king, with Aeolus. Ulysses et comites manebant, imperfect tense. Ulysses and his comrades remained. Ulysses and his comrades remained for a long while with the king, with Aeolus. Alright guys, I hope that's helpful, I hope it's clear, not too difficult I don't think, that first little section. So without further ado, let's get on to part 2. As soon as it appears, please pause. Alright, let's read together. Tandem, ubi discedebant, Aeolus zephyrum emisit, reliquos autum ventos in sacco vinxit. Saccum Ulysses dedit, Nissi sacum aperies inquit, Zephyrus ad Ithacum insulum navem ducet. Tandem, adverb. Finally, at length. When, disce debant, when they were leaving, imperfect tense, so when they were in the process of leaving, that's to say Ulysses and his men, King Aeolus let out, emisit from emittere, emitter is to send, emisit, sent forth, let out, perfect tense, the Zephyrus. Zephyrus is the west wind. So he's been put in charge of the winds by the gods, and he's got them all, and he's let out the west wind. Reliquos autem ventos in sacco vinxit. Okay, verb from vincere, to tie, to bind. He tied autem, however, reliquos ventos, those go together, guys, that's accusative plural. Reliquos, the remaining. The remaining winds, however, he tied in a sack. So he let out this specific west wind, the Zephyrus, emisit. However, autem, he tied up in a sack the other winds, the remaining ones, reliquos ventos. Saccum, the sack, accusative, Ulysses dedit. Dedit from the verb dare. Do, dare, dedidatum. Four principal parts. Do, dare, dedidatum. This is perfect tense, third person singular. The king gave Ulysses, dative, to Ulysses, to Odysseus, the sack. And then he says, inquit, in speech marks, nissi, nissi, if not, unless, if not, aperies, if you will not open the sack, this is future tense, if you will not open the sack, the Zephyrus, the west wind, ad Ithacum insulum navem ducet, verb, ducet, future tense. Don't think that's present because it's a third conjugation verb, duco, ducere, so the present would be ducit with D-U-C-I-T, it leads, but ducet, it will lead. Alright, the Zephyrus, the west wind, will lead, navem, accusative, object, the ship, your ship, from Navis, add to Ithacum insulum, to the island of Ithaca. That's Odysseus or Ulysses' home. Let's do that again, guys. Nissi sacum aperies, if you will not open the sack, the Zephyrus will lead, ducet, navem, accusative, your ship, the ship, to the island of Ithaca. Okay, so that's our second section, guys. I hope that was clear. Hope you're happy with that. And now let's move on to the third section, pause when it appears. Okay. Ubi iam ad patrium veniebant, et Ulysses labore fessus, quod solus diu navem rexerat, dormiebant, multa clam comites disserebant, aurum et argentum clamabant, in sacco Ulysses portat, regis munera inter comites non divisit, saccum aperiemus. Okay, it's getting interesting now, guys. Ubi, when? When now? Ad patrium. Patria is your homeland, your home country. Veniebant, from the verb venio, venire, to come. This is imperfect. When they were coming. When they were coming to their homeland. And Ulysses. Labore fessus, adjective, fessus is nominative case, agreeing with Ulysses. When Ulysses, fessus, tired, labore. What case is that, guys? Labor is the nominative, masculine, third declension. Labore is ablative, labour, work. So Ulysses, tired with work, on account of work, owing to the work. So the ablative is used here to indicate the source, the origin of the issue, his being fessus. When Ulysses, tired due to all the work, all the labour. What labour? We get an explanation. Quod, because solus, nominative, he alone, on his own, diu, for a long time, navem rexerat, from the verb regere, means to guide, to steer in this case, pluperfect tense, because he had steered, he alone, or on his own, for a long time had steered the ship, from Navis, accusative. So when they were coming now to their homeland, when they were approaching perhaps, and Ulysses being tired due to the labour, because he alone for a long time had steered, had guided the ship. When Ulysses dormiebat, he was sleeping in perfect tense. So that's a subordinate clause. The main clause now comes multa clam comites diserebant. Subject is what? Comites, from comes, third declension noun, plural. His companions, his comrades, diserebant, were discussing. Clam, secretly, adverb. Multa, neuter plural, many things. Much. So the main clause is the comrades, his comrades, that's to say, were secretly discussing many things. That's your main clause. Your subordinate, which introduced it, was when, blah, blah, blah. When they were reaching home, when Ulysses was tired, because, blah, 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 the comrades were secretly discussing multa, neuter plural, many things. What did they say? Aurum et argentum clamabant. In sacco Ulysses portat. Clamabant, they were exclaiming. Aurum, gold, et argentum, silver. Ulysses portat, he's carrying in the sack, ablative. Ulysses is carrying silver and gold in the sack, they were saying. Regis munera inter comites non divisit. Regis, genitive, of the king, munera, from munus. This is a neuter noun, munus, in the plural, munera, the gifts, can mean a number of things, munus. Here it means the gifts. The gifts of the king's gifts, he has not divided or shared inter amongst the comrades. Ulysses has got silver and gold in that sack. He hasn't divided amongst the comrades the gifts of the king, munera regis. Saccum appariemus, we shall open the sack, future tense from apparire, appario, appariemus, the E indicates future tense, we'll open the sack. That's what they're going to do. Right, guys, hope that was helpful to you. Let's move on to our fourth and final section. So pause when it appears. Okay, hopefully you've had a crack at that. Let's read together. Ithaque saccum apperuerunt et relicus ventos emisserunt. Statim navis ad insulam Aeolium revertit. Frustratum Ulysses et comites a rege auxilium petiverunt. Inimicus est deorum Ulysses inquit. Deorum inimicum non adjuabimus. Ithaque magno dolore ad orum reveterunt. Ventus autem non iam ad patriam navem ducebat. All right, bit of a long section. Ithaque, adverb, and so, thus, in this way, following on from what we read before. And so, saccum apparuerunt, perfect tense from appario, apparire, third person plural. They opened the sack, and emisserunt, let out, sent forth the remaining winds. Statim, adverb, immediately, at once. Navis, the ship, ad insulam Aeolium revertit. The ship returned to the island Aeolia, where they started out. Frustra, adverb, in vain, to no effect. Tum, the adverb, then, at that time, Ulysses and the companions, his comrades, aurege auxilium petiverunt. Perfect tense from peto petere. It was in vain at that time, then, that Ulysses and his comrades petere, to ask for, to seek, sought help, auxilium neuter, from the king. That's ablative, aurege, from rex. Then in vain Ulysses and his comrades sought help from the king. This is what he says, inquit. Quote, inimicus est deorum Ulysses. Inimicus, an enemy of the gods, deorum, genitive, is Ulysses. Ulysses is an enemy of the gods. Quote continues, deorum inimicum non adjuabimus. The verb is adjuare, to help, and this is the future in the we form, adjuabimus. Non adjuabimus, we shall not help. We shall not help. Inimicum, accusative, an enemy, genitive plural of the gods. We shall not help an enemy of the gods. Ulysses is an enemy of the gods, he said. We shall not help. Non adjuabimus. an enemy of the gods. End of quote. Last little bit. Ithaca, once again, and so, magno dolore, ablative phrase from dolor, with great pain, maybe sorrow in this case, with great sorrow or suffering, ad orem reveterunt, they returned to the shore, ora, to the shore, the coast. Ventus autem, the wind, this is a nominative, the wind, however, non iam ad patriam navem ducebat. The wind, however, find the verb, ducebat from duco ducere. The wind, however, was not leading, or did not lead the ship, accusative, did not now lead the ship to the homeland of Ulysses. One last time. And so they opened the sack and let out the remaining winds. At once the ship returned to the island of Iolia. Then, in vain, Ulysses and his comrades sought auxilium help from the king. He said, the king, Ulysses is an enemy of the gods, and we shall not help an enemy of the gods. And thus, Ithaca magno dolore, ablative phrase, with great suffering, with great sorrow, they returned to the shore. The wind, however, at this point now, Yam, did not send or guide the ship back to the homeland, to the country, which is the island of Ithaca. Alright, excellent. How did you guys? Let me know. I hope that was useful. I hope you managed to decipher some, if not all, of the text, and the bits that you didn't do, I hope I've managed to clarify those aspects for you. Feel very free to drop a question in the comments, and I'll do my best to get back to you swiftly and help you with that. So I'm going to leave it there. That's just under 17 minutes, and see you in the next video, guys.